Imagine a secret weapon that could help you run faster, last longer, and even live a healthier, longer life. Enter VO2 Max, the crown jewel of aerobic fitness metrics. It's one of the most talked about numbers in the endurance world, but is it worth all the hype? Does it guarantee better performance? Or is it just another statistic? Most importantly, how does it apply to your goals as a runner, whether you're chasing a mile PR or training for a marathon? In this guide, we're peeling back the layers of VO2 Max. You'll discover what VO2 Max really is and how it's measured, its role across different race distances, mile, 10K, half marathon, marathon, whether it lives up to the longevity claims, and actionable steps to improve your VO2 Max and running mechanics. Let's lace up and dive in. VO2 Max, short for maximal oxygen uptake, measures the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during intense exercise. Think of it as your engine's horsepower. The bigger the engine, the more power you can generate, and the faster and farther you can go. The science behind it. VO2 Max reflects the efficiency of your cardiovascular system, heart, lungs, and blood vessels, and your muscles' ability to use oxygen. It's expressed as milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight per minute. In plain terms, VO2 Max is the aerobic ceiling of your fitness, the highest level of exertion your body can sustain. VO2 Max can be determined through two main methods. Laboratory testing. The gold standard involves running on a treadmill or cycling while wearing a mask that measures oxygen intake and carbon dioxide output. The test gradually increases intensity until you reach exhaustion. Your VO2 Max is calculated from this data. Wearable technology. Smartwatches, Garmin, Polar, Apple Watch, estimate VO2 Max based on heart rate, pace, and other metrics during runs. While less precise than lab tests, these tools are useful for tracking trends over time. VO2 Max is important because it's a direct measure of aerobic capacity and potential performance. Here's why it's worth your attention. 1. Performance potential. VO2 Max sets the upper limit on your aerobic fitness. A higher VO2 Max means your body can process more oxygen, which translates to faster and longer runs. 2. Training insights. Tracking VO2 Max over time shows how well your training is working. Improvements often signal better endurance and cardiovascular efficiency. 3. Health and longevity. Beyond running, VO2 Max is a predictor of overall health. Higher levels are associated with a lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, and early mortality. Your need to monitor VO2 Max depends on your goals. For beginners, it's more important to focus on building a consistent running routine rather than obsessing over VO2 Max. On the other hand, intermediate and advanced runners might find that tracking VO2 Max can guide their training and provide insights into progress, especially when targeting specific race distances. So, how much does VO2 Max impact different distances? First, the mile. The mile is highly VO2 Max dependent. This short, intense race pushes you to your aerobic capacity, so a higher VO2 Max often leads to faster times. Next, the 10K. Sustaining a high percentage of your VO2 Max over an extended period is key in the 10K. Improving your VO2 Max directly benefits this distance. And finally, the half marathon and marathon. While VO2 Max matters less for longer races, it still provides the engine that powers you. Running economy and lactate threshold play a larger role at these distances, but a higher VO2 Max gives you a strong aerobic base. Can VO2 Max help you live longer? Science says yes. Studies show that higher VO2 Max levels are linked to lower risks of chronic diseases, like heart disease, diabetes, and even Alzheimer's. VO2 max is one of the strongest predictors of mortality in older adults. Improving it through regular aerobic exercise can significantly enhance quality and length of life. Here are the best ways to boost your VO2 max. First, high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. This involves short bursts of intense effort, usually around 3 to 5 minutes, at 90 to 95% of your maximum effort, followed by recovery periods. For example, you could do 4 by 800 meter intervals at your VO2 max pace with 3 minutes of rest in between. Next, we have threshold training. Running just below your lactate threshold improves endurance and raises your aerobic ceiling. Then, there's strength training. Stronger muscles use oxygen more efficiently, indirectly supporting your VO2 max. Lastly, consistency is key. Regular aerobic training, spread across months and years, builds a sustainable foundation for improving your VO2 max. Can a high VO2 max in cycling or swimming carry over to running? Not directly. VO2 max is sport-specific, as running uses different muscles and mechanics than cycling or swimming. However, a strong cardiovascular base from other sports provides a head start. Adapting to running-specific movement patterns is key. Even a high VO2 max won't save you if your mechanics are poor. Inefficient form, like overstriding, poor posture, and excessive vertical motion, wastes energy and increases oxygen demands. Poor mechanics also lead to injuries, interrupting training and VO2 max development. How to improve? Focus on cadence, around 170 to 180 steps per minute. Strengthen your core, and seek professional gait analysis. Genetics set your baseline potential, but don't define your ceiling. VO2 max declines with age, but regular exercise slows this process. Carrying excess weight lowers VO2 max relative to body weight. Living or training at high altitudes can boost VO2 max over time. Overtraining decreases VO2 max, so prioritize rest. VO2 max is a powerful metric for runners, but it's not the whole story. While it reflects your aerobic potential, factors like running economy, mechanics, and lactate threshold often have a greater impact on performance. Focus on building a strong aerobic base, refining your form, and staying consistent to unlock your full potential. Now it's your turn. Have you measured your VO2 max, and how has it influenced your training? Share your thoughts below.